99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the second part of the newspapers analysis called Dailies today here on Nigeria Info 99.3. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi Disu. Morning.
Yep. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can be a part of this show live. If you'd like to drop a comment on live stream, feel free to do that. Let's begin this morning. We're going to start with this story here on page 5 of the Vanguard. 2027, I'm expecting more defections to APC, Tinubu.
Not unexpected. Not unexpected. There's a strategy. This is the second year of the president's administration, and of course, the APC would like to celebrate what they consider the successes they have had in governance. Well, that successes or failures depends on which side of the divide and which microscope you're using to make that point. But they're going to use it. They perceive. I can see that they perceive that there's a problem. There seems to be a sense of panic, so they are galvanizing everything possible. Which is okay, which is legitimate, except that it's at a very bad cost to us because nobody is deceived why these defections are taking place. But I've also told you that I cannot point my hand to one politician that I can say is in this business for the benefit of the people. I can't point to one. I don't say there is none, but I can't point to one. And I'm sorry those who are close to me if I'm saying that I'm being objective. I can't swear that this politician has the interests of the public or the citizens of this country at heart. So the citizens must know that. It is important that you understand it. That is all. Most of this political maneuvering is all about self-interest. And it doesn't have you. You are there as a tool to achieve self-interest. So, what happened yesterday? 22 governors adopted the president as the sole candidate. Not unexpected. Because whether you like it or not, something has something has taken place behind the scenes that you can see. So the question is, when these governors defect, the governor of Akwa Ibom says that the zone officials who eat from the cookie jar that he has, I should either go with him when he's ready to go to the APC or stay where they are. And quote and unquote, he didn't say that, but I add that silent word and continue to suffer. The question now is, are the people going to go with these governors? Are these governors even interested in taking the people along, or they have devised a plan that whether the people come or not, they will continue to remain in power? The next question to ask is that, are the people ready to assert their interests in the political process? Unfortunately, the answer I have for that is no. The president said yesterday that he's expecting more defections, and of course he will expect more defections, and of course he will get more defections because morality, and it has been thrown completely out of the game, is now about self-interest. One of these days, I won't be surprised to hear that somebody that is standing next to me, there's nothing wrong with being a member of the APC. Let's get that one clear. It's a matter of choice. But I have a feeling that I might be sitting next to a feeling. I have a feeling. God told me this night. Don't let me rattle him. The president describes this inflow to the APC as people getting out of a sinking ship. The question is, who sunk the ship? They are getting out. Basically, forget all the political shenanigans. They are getting out of poverty and left you behind. Because there's no way somebody can tell me that if you're shifting from one of the other parties to the APC, there's nothing for you to gain there as a person. And convince me also that your people also will get. I'm not talking of the the in crowd that hang around you that will eat what is falling off the table. Okay? So the 22 governors have adopted the president. The first a vote of no confidence. And sometimes you can be roped into this thing. The president is sitting on the podium and then says, can we all stand? Please, if you know you are for the president, you want a vote of confidence, can you put your hands up? Who will put his hand down? Mm-hmm. Yes. Will you be brave enough to do that? So that's what we got yesterday. And, well, the game continues. This is a lot of propaganda. We don't know what the people are feeling at the lower level. We don't know what the people themselves might come up with in various areas of the country. So don't get intimidated by this. It's a good political move, and I give the APC a lot of credit for this. It has made it a 1-1 goalless draw, like one broadcaster said. The most important thing is how does this affect you, and how do you want to react to this? Do you want to move over with your family, and whatever to the promised land of I leave that, when I'm a journalist, I write, I'm not a broadcaster. But do you want to move over to them? We put dot to avoid jail.
Nobody's jailing you.
These days, and let me state categorically that I have more fair practicing journalism in this dispensation than I had even during the Babangida period with Decree 4. Honestly, that is me. Maybe is my fear justified? Somebody needs to tell me. But I have more fair practicing my trade under this supposed democracy than I had during. If some of us knew that this was what we were going to end up with, we would have stayed with the military. But let's go on to another.
So before we go on here, when this was happening yesterday, and I got a call, and then we're now talking with this senior colleague, and I asked him that what he thought about this thing coming, whether it's too early or not too early and everything, because I mean we're not even close to primaries yet, we're not even close to election cycle yet, we're not near at all. And you know what he told me, and I want to ask whether you agree or you disagree.
Okay.
He said that this could be a counter move because APC could have heard that the supposed coalition could actually give them a run for their money, in that some of their bigwigs may even be lured back, especially those that have other ambitions. And they know how APC normally does their thing, by putting somebody in, what do they call it, consensus and all of that thing. So some of them that have, bigger ambitions may want to jump ship now that the coalition another coalition is forming, and they may want to try their luck. This is an attempt to say, look, all of us were united. Nobody can encroach into our territory. We are one and one party.
Let me put it this way. This is a political panic move.
A panic move?
Yes, the APC is in a state of panic. Because the president, to be honest, hasn't really carried the party along anyway. Okay, and so this is like a rallying point, trying to rally people. I want to know how much, if any, of the treasury money has gone into this exercise, if any. Either directly or by implication. When I say by implication, when you give a politician a post, then you have given him access to the cookie jar. I want to know. And I quickly put, if any. That's my escape route. So maybe there is none. But I'd like to know. But what I do know is that politics in Nigeria generally is about political self-interest. It's about, even those who might defect, they might want to gauge the mood of the people to see which way they will go. Okay? And that's what it is. One of the political gladiators at the very, very top, who has made an attempt about 4 or 5 times, I don't believe it's for the benefit of the people. It's more for a personal ego ambition that I must be president. Because otherwise, wouldn't you at a particular age be saying that, okay, let me back one or two younger people.
Yeah.
But there's this desperate move that I must be president. And I don't live my life like that. I don't think anybody should be living his life like that. And it is important that our people know this. Nobody, no politician can come and tell me that, oh, we want to help Nigeria, want to salvage you out of nothing. Nobody is there to do anything. It's all about political self-interest, which is legitimate. But the question you will ask is, does this man's political self-interest align with mine?
With that of the people.
With that of the people. And at least let them see, for me, you can pursue your political self-interest, but at least settle the people, which is the way it is done in the Western world. They make life comfortable, generally comfortable. You have housing, you can go get an injection,
health.
You have health, you have subsidized transport, you have all these things. Then they head for political self-interest. Here is winner takes all. Part of the thinking of the average Nigerian now, the elite, is not just to have money and be comfortable, but to deny other people so they will look like heroes. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Even the bits that they do, the ones that are playing Robin Hood all over the place, giving you washing machine and all these nonsense things, is to pacify you. It's to pacify you. You should ask yourself a question. If they give you a raw lotta and keke napep and so on and so forth, why aren't they educating your children like Awolowo wanted to do? Many of them are products of Awolowo's governance, and they would have still been mechanics and organizers if it wasn't for Awolowo who made sure that they went to school. Are they doing so likewise? The answer is no. Then they send their own children to Cambridge, and they think that they send them to Oxford, they send them to Harvard. Their children are not on the social media abusing everybody, thinking that by the time their children finish their education, there is something waiting for them, forgetting that the ones that you refuse to educate are going to be a serious problem, and that is what you have now. And it's amazing that even amongst the poor, those who have been elevated send their children to Ivy schools. Their children are getting first class in American universities, but they are sponsoring young touts to run all over the street looking for 1,000 naira every day, and they lead them. And these people agree to be led.
That's baffling, right?
It's baffling. All these young teens all over, you know the people I'm talking about, running from bus stop and these people, their masters have not said that, look, we have so many of these people, let's even have evening school for them. No. Let's even have education for whatever in the motor parks so that these children can be developed. No. They do it. There was one 60 plus one time. I saw him hooking a trailer on Western Avenue at 60 plus. He had been on the streets. Nothing had been done to take him out. So it behoves all you conductors, all you children, ask your orgas, where are their children? One of your orga patapatas, two of his children got first class in American universities. You are busy swinging on the downfall, stopping it's amazing. Our people are their own enemies. The hordes of people that you have roaming the streets, are you saying you can't do something good out of them? You can't even teach them, put them in skills where they can repair ACs, be this and that. It's only to run after that to bring money for you to enjoy yourself. Entertain female guests with the Orieja and all kinds of things. And the Orieja is this person. I got it, Baba man. Yes, when a gun master, Baba Jejalini, they go out and it's amazing. I'd like all of you, all you touts, conductors and so on, to stop to think that the people you serve, where are their children? Where are their children? Let's go to the next story now.
I have a comment here before we go to the next story. Ubong Johnson said, we need our own type of government, a pseudo-authoritarian government, a firm authoritarian, no House of Assembly, only appointed administrators. Only then can a roadmap be followed for 20 years. Do you agree with that?
Well, you will still have to have some form of choosing your leaders under such a process. And that what he advocates can only be an act of God, for God just to drop that kind of leader. But it is not enduring.
So where I'm even going with this is, I mean, I picked this comment because I've heard it a lot. And if you look at the Nigerian climate, the Nigerian environment, both civilian and the military, do you think that you can get somebody like this with the previous
military? Believe you me, we had well-trained and motivated people. That's the military of the past. We maybe would have been able to transform quietly from civilian to from military to some kind of, God knows, I don't know what we would call it.
What to call it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this democracy is not working. That is my view. This democracy is not working. It's not helping. How can you have a president sign a budget that has the kind of additions that budget have said? And if you notice in the media, since Tuesday, there has been silence.
Nothing.
There has been silence. A major infraction like that, there's been silence. Nobody has said anything. What kind of a country is this?
You sense a conspiracy?
Do I sense a conspiracy? Why don't you say I sense a conspiracy?
You're the one analyzing.
Yeah, you wicked. You want to say? So, remember, I told you that practicing my trade in this present, it demands a lot of deft movement and so on and so forth. One has to be very careful. So you say you sense the conspiracy. Don't ask me.
I'm asking the question now. I'm the host.
Okay, ask the audience. Do what do we call this thing? Do
open mic.
Let them tell you this sense a conspiracy.
Oh boy.
Oh, dear me.
Let's go to our next story. Page 3 of the Trust. Lagos, you're welcome if you're just joining us. You can watch on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch. We're still on the first story, as a matter of fact, only that this is a reaction to the first story. Tinubu's endorsement. What Nigerians think.
Okay, so this has various. The headline is a bit misleading because they talked to a few people. They didn't do a poll or anything. And of course, most of those who are reacting here, they're quite critical of it all. And I think the people that they spoke to, don't let me say Nigerians now, are a bit apprehensive about what's going on. So I don't want to waste your time with what is being said. But this headline, we say what Nigerians think, and of course, they didn't conduct a poll. What do you have here? They say some secondary school teacher believes that Nigeria's problems go beyond the economy. The situation is a total mess. They spoke to a gentleman, a farmer and fish seller, and he said that the endorsement of Tinubu for a second term was predictable, reflecting the self-serving nature of the Nigerian political class. They also spoke to somebody, Rashida Mohammed, an administrative officer at a real estate firm in Lagos, was blunt in her assessment of Tinubu's leadership. He says Tinubu does not deserve a second term. Look at how poorly he has performed in his first tenure. Aisha Mohammed also says that endorsing Tinubu for 2027 at this point is premature. It is not. And insensitive. Well, it's for their own interests. You need to understand that. Preparation has started. So there's nothing, just talking to a few people. We maybe need to conduct proper polls, get somebody to conduct a proper poll, and let's get a sense of what the people feel.
Yes,
now,
indeed.
Do not ask me what I feel. Because I'm looking at you, that's going to be your next question. Rather, you tell us what you feel. Yes.
So we're going to move on to our next story.
Good.
Page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Well, what do you think, though?
That was
the endorsement.
What do I think?
Yes.
What do you think, Sheriff?
I think it's a political move.
So do I.
You cannot say that. You're supposed to break it down.
So if there's going to be anywhere, I will go together.
Let's go to our next story. Page 12 of the Vanguard. Defect with me or resign. Eno tells commissioners and appointees.
Yes, and that statement tells you that there's resistance. There's a video making the rounds where Okowa went to address some women group, and they were loggerheads with him. They even ahead in the background, some uncomplimentary remarks being made at him. He was trying to convince his supporters. So it's a political move. I don't think the opposition should be intimidated. They should work quietly. I think the people too should put on their thinking cap, put their own interest first, the interest, immediate interest, and later interest. Remember, what you eat in a matter of 3 months or whatever could make you hungry for another 4 years. That is where that goes. But I think this story tells me that all is not well.
Yeah.
If you now have to make a public statement that defect with me or resign, it means there's something going on there.
Does that not also negate the principle of democracy in governance? Governor Eno, for instance, he could at least see, for example, what his leader, the president himself, has done by having Wike from the opposition party work in his cabinet. And he is refusing to do same.
Well, he's at liberty. It's his government. So if you don't believe in what he believes in, then he doesn't think it should take you on board. I think it's politically legitimate.
Yeah.
Politically legitimate.
Okay. All right. Let's take up this story in the Vanguard, page 9 of the Vanguard. Anti-Tinubu coalition gathers steam as Northern Democrats join.
Well, we'll see how far this anti-Tinubu coalition is going to go. But I'm sure there are many, many plants amongst them who will scatter them at the appropriate time. The SDP, for example, in one of the stories there, one of their leaders is saying that, he would rather go with Peter Obi than Atiku. You can see, even in the coalition itself, personal ambitions are already beginning to exhibit some things and make it impossible. But let's see where. I'm glad there is a coalition. Really, it's not so much if they win, but you cannot just open the floodgates for these politicians to rush through. It will be at your own peril. So I'm glad that some people have found the need. We all can't just sit back. I want you to imagine what this country would have looked like if we didn't have the likes of people who would come out in public and say, no, it shouldn't be this. They would have run over you completely. And for people who don't know, you need to go to some countries to see countries where the political elite have run over the country and there's nothing left for anybody. You need to go find that in Haiti. Haiti don't even have a police force. They had to send some Kenyan policemen there to go. It's easy to overrun out of self-interest as long as they can scrape what they can from the cookie jar. They'll bound you over to the Philistines. And like they will say, sorry to say this quick one in Yoruba, you will suffer. Don't call it any other thing. You will suffer. So we need to get this straight. The only legitimate chance you get to assert yourself is during an election. Simple. Legitimate. I'm not talking of other ways. It's during an election. And so brace yourself to make your choice. It's not nobody is telling you which way to go. But don't like the song that was a song for us during the Civil War. Something like don't sit on the fence. Stop careless talk. Know what to do. Join civil defense. It's for all of you. The civil defense you have now that was sung in 1967 in that song. The civil defense now is your political participation in getting what you think is good for you. That's all. Nobody's asking for any other thing. And on that note,
we have one more story. We have to take this story, though. I mean, we can drop the rest, but this one we have to take it.
All right.
Vanguard page 7. Slain WAEC student, key witness testimony delays full report, according to the police.
Yes, the police say they are working on the report, the slain 14-year-old. And the Commissioner of Police, Oyo State, Mr. Adenola, assured the public that the police is keeping IGP updated on developments on the case. He also says this tragic incident could have been avoided had the father of the deceased complied with traffic rules. I agree with him 100%. Mm-hmm. And they said that Alade has, according to our records, been a serial offender, having been arrested for traffic violations just weeks prior. There are many Alades in Lagos, at least. So many. And the state government has refused to bring them to book. Drive along Eco Bridge and see motorbikes in the opposite. That is the way these things start. One day somebody is going to want to chase these motorbikes and they are going to run into people. We'll have a disaster in our hands. Then Oyibo will start. I'd like to call on the Lagos state government in our own environment here. Can you please make sure that people comply with traffic laws? Let us do something to prevent them, in the first instance, not to catch them, to prevent them. If the Oyo State government, traffic, whatever, you say you know him as a serial offender, if you had prevented these things from happening, we wouldn't have what we have today. And on that note,
that's where we call it a morning on Dailies today. But you're back at 9.
I've run out.
You're going to have that.
I've run out of breath. My power is gone.
Sorry. Who caused that?
You now. You asking me.
It's the papers. It's the papers. Look at them. The pile. That's what they do. That's what they do to you every morning.
Okay, Mr. Quadry. Okay.
So till 9, right?
Till 9, yes.
Okay, all right. Lagos, that's our show. Thank you for being a part of it. Yeah, good morning to you. Kofi is next with the Morning Crossfire.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.